What's good, fam? So what's going on? I just thought this. I wanted to make this part in the beginning because I realized people will be kind of triggered that I'm making a video about top 5 races that could kill races. I got mixed reviews, but honestly, I just want to let you know that anybody who's new watching, don't use this as a source for what class is better than whatever. This is just my honest opinion, and some of the classes on this list probably should be RP'd a little bit more. I'm tired of seeing people just human walking around. I'm definitely gonna try to change my classes up too. So without further ado, let's get going, fam. Honorable mentions. One of the races that I did not want to put on the list, but I didn't want to leave off is Dark Elves. I think this is probably the more underrated elves. I feel like the RP has a lot of potential, and I think the RP is very interesting, especially the fact that marriages are more sacred in their religion thing. They like to be in their own communities, but honestly, I don't see them as much around their own communities as opposed to being on their own. They're great for PvP because they have a speed boost, a great speed boost, which lasts for a short amount of time. And RP is really good conceptually. I just think it's really underrated, and I think it should be RP a little bit more. I know there's a good following, but I feel like it always has room to grow. But that's just my opinion of Dark Elves. A good class. If you guys wanted to get into that, really should. It's good elf. So. And this new next one is fairly new. It's the How Z. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I hope I don't sound like a noob. But the How Z is actually really good. It's really up and coming. I feel like the RP is gonna be good. I feel like there's supposed to be a sort of Harambe-like monkey race. This is another race I kind of had to leave out the list because conceptually it is a good, nice little It is an interesting race, but I couldn't put it on here because it's fairly new and I don't see a lot of people RPing it. But that's just me. But honestly, if you guys anybody new watching this video, if you guys really want to get into that race, you should. I don't know really much about it, but I'm gonna leave it at that. That it's really interesting in concept. But I'll leave it at that. So let's get started on the number 5.
Number 5.
Goblins.
No, God!
Wait. Before you trigger pet people, no, do not leave the thing. I honestly have a good explanation on why I think these guys are the top 5 race. Goblins, quite most the underrated and underused race on this list. The Goblin race is a subtype of Orc. They are known for being significantly weaker than their counterparts, but also much smarter. Their intangibles, they're great, small, fast, intelligent creatures who will always create and new nicks and gadgets because they are the most intelligent. Though not big in size and stature, they are the most intelligent race and use their cleverness and their wit to get to where they want. So if it's bribing a piece of fish to a Olog for him to do his bidding, then you're gonna see some big ass Olog bodyguards doing that, because they're so smart and a little bit more clever, and so they can get people to do what they want. They've also seen to build new gadgets and are the closest to speaking, I guess, a more standard way of speaking the common tongue, which is English, within just the community. This class is probably not the best for just PvP aspects, so I think that's why it's neglected a little bit. But I think honestly this is a truly underrated class that it should be used and utilized more. I mean, shit, everyone loves Smeagol, right?
Bruh, look at this dude.
Wood Elves. Oh god, the cringe is real. Look, okay, first of all, don't click off the video. I know you were damn near close, but you know what? Look. Yes, that is true. They are a very common class in this thing. But also, the RP is actually very interesting. They are kind of depicted as like the hard-nosed, hard-working, blue-collar elf. They're quite your favorite mold of character. They're kind of flexible. They're the most diverse. I feel like you can do anything with a wood elf. Either be a scholar, be someone who's in love with nature, be a mage, be a warrior, be a soldier. You can basically, if you're an elf, you can basically live whatever you want, you know, besides maybe the orc lands or maybe any other exclusive, you know, car, whatever it is. So I believe that it is it's a good class to have, especially if you are a starter in the RP world and you don't really know much, but the RP is very interesting actually, and that's what we're going to talk about. The religion is very interesting as they worship two gods in nature. One's the motherly side, Cerudin, and the other is Suranos, the patriarchal side. And they're also kind of seen as children of God, or their God. So, I mean, it's really kind of an interesting dynamic because one's the mother, the other's the father type thing. And they're, you know, they believe that the world was birthed off of that. So, their RP is really interesting. Their base, religion, or their primary religion, is called aspectism, which is kind of interesting. It's like the ritual of celebrating the two gods that I just mentioned. They are in RP a very religious group. Why I think they can be they're used a lot more than other classes because of their PvP buff. They get a slight natural speed boost because wood elves are naturally faster in RP. And I think naturally a lot of people are less intimidated by a wood elf, you know, as opposed to a high elf or a dark elf. But I think a lot more than that. I think the RP is really interesting, and anybody who's a new player who chooses wood elf for the first time should really get into that. I do believe that the community should, a lot of people, you know, who are wood elves go on to like live in human territories because without it's whatever. But honestly, the RP and the rituals are very interesting, so it should be looked into.
High Elves.
For these snobs who believe they're the chosen one, that's why they call themselves Mali Arrow. They believe they're the main elf race. Though I rank this is a spoiler. This is highest ranked elf on this list. This is probably the most interesting elf. I feel like the RP is a little bit more tight knit community, and what other elf races should probably strive for as far as elfers. I don't. With that being said, and disclaimer, I'm not telling you to choose this race. This is not a race. If you want choose a race you want to, not because what this video says, but honestly, it is a good race, and it is what most other races should strive for, as in terms of how this community kind of stays in one piece more than the others. I'm not saying that the others don't, but this one I think has the most I think kind of kinship, we would say, and they all don't really interbreed, except one. At Zane Tank built in Sigma. With that being said, honestly, and fundamentally, they are the more snobby, uptight type of race. Usually with all of them, they don't interbreed, so they believe that pure bloods are the way to go. So you're not going to see a lot of inbred Uruk / high elf mixed breeds. I don't know what the hell that would look like. But that's kind of a nutshell on how that race is. The RP they are uppity, so but they have an intellectual edge to them. They are probably the more smarter ones. You see a lot of them being scholars and all that. They don't have any physical RP or buffs or PvP buffs that kind of assist them in battle. So they're just more of a, they're kind of just as a human, I guess you would say. They do have professional buffs. High Elves are all better alchemists, enchanters, and stonemasons. All their stats increase by increments of 30%. Their race like includes a lot of high elf pride. You're not going to see very many homeless high elves. Everyone's going to have a job. But they all see the other elf races, dark elves, snow elves, wood elves, all the other elves as impure, and they're exiled from their home city. That's kind of the thing. So they don't like interbreeding with other races except one. At Zane Tank built in Sigma. So yeah, that's kind of the high elf race. It's an awesome race. If you do get to check it out. It's an awesome community, awesome RP, and the Children of Malin, they're gonna keep growing. So better hop on the train now. That's why I chose this as number 3, because I like the whole I have pride. The RP is active and coherent. So that's my number 3. So what's number 2? Dwarfs. Those short, stout bastards with their Cockney accents and their stubbornness and their small hands and their short bodies. I chose all dwarves because honestly I think that all dwarves can be represented here because their culture is basically the same. There are mountain dwarves, forest dwarves, and cave dwarves, but all of them share the same sort of principles and pride when it comes to their community and their RP. They are kind of similar to orcs, as they do, base their kind of the societal and social impact on, like, militaristic and honor and valor and integrity and all that stuff. And people do get punished if they don't follow by that creed. The reason why I like the RP so much is that it's so, like, I wouldn't say it was so diverse, more than just so, I guess, immersive, and I feel like they're like kind of also very akin to each other. The RP is good, they have their own kind of diction they kind of speak in, and PvP wise they're fairly good. I mean, they are a lot slower, but they do have a knockback resistance, which means that they can take knockback, which is good for PvP. If anybody's ever played Badline, that knockback, taking knockback, it's a lot easier to fight with. So from PvP aspect, they are good. There's one thing that the other class, number 1, is set apart from this class, and I think you guys know which number 1 is. The Uruks. You know what? Damn it! You can be mad. You can be mad. I chose this class. You can be mad. But look at this dude's face. How can you be mad at that face? Come on.
Quad!
I'll give you some reasoning on why I believe this is the number 1 class. This also, remember, this is personal preference. This is what I believe. I believe is the number 1 class. Why I believe this is number 1 RP on the server. I'm not favoritism. I don't have any friends in the Uruk. I don't have any friends at all. The thing is, we'll start a kinship and RP, and people buying into the RP enriches the RP community, and this is kind of what people should strive for as far as wanting to build an RP community. If you look at I'm gonna put a link into Humanistic's channel in the description, and you can just see a lot of the orcish things they do. They have a religion of Krugmar, and they sacrifice sheep, and they actually go out and sacrifice sheep for this, or llamas or whatever, for their religion. And I feel like this is a more I know this is people kind of find it difficult to learn the language. They have their own dialect, but that what enriches an RP. I mean, yeah, their PvP buff has gone down. There's not as many people wanting to play Orc because they haven't got the ridiculous Superman strength they had, and nonetheless they became one of the more polarizing figures in just RP. I mean, who doesn't like that old Orcish Kush, man? Come on, man. You like smoking the good green, baby. But yeah, I mean, that RP is it's great. It's just all around great. I mean, people who never dealt with orcs have a hard time believing that, but if you ever actually play a Uruk and actually get into it, it actually is a really fun class. And I must say, I'm actually sort of biased because when I first played Orc, and I was like, man, this is crap. I mean, look at these monsters, look at these green ugly things. I mean, come on. I don't want to play that. And then I actually got to play it, and I experienced the RP and how immersive it is. I didn't want to play any other class for such a long time. And I think that this is sort of I feel like people agree with it. Some people agree with it, and Orc RP is just really fun overall. So that's why I rank it number one. The immersiveness, the kinship, the people who buy into the RP, the people who are serious about it, they make it fun. Also, another practice they do is called clumping. No, it's not a weird sex position. It's actually a fighting. So clumping is basically going out and punching people to whoever knocks out. And I think that's kind of that's like a really good orchestra tradition, especially if you love PvP, which I am biased again. Don't hate me. Don't please please don't dislike. Don't dislike. But honestly, this is my opinion. But yeah, I think orcs or Uruks are one of the best class on the server. Doesn't mean, and again, if you are a noob who's never played this server before and you're watching this video for the first time, do not use this video as a way or reason to choose a class because I say it is. I really don't think I would have that type of power, but I just experience all the classes for yourself and see which one fits you personally. But as I said, Uruk is number one, so I gave it 100%, 99, 100%, somewhere around there. But you know what I mean. Well, with that said, that's my top 5 RP LOTC races. Now you might not agree, you might disagree. But if you guys would comment down on the forums or in my in the comments section of my video, what is your top 5 races? And with that said, have a neat day.